Well, like many people in the myositis world, it was a long and winding road to diagnosis. I first thought I was getting old. I had just turned 50, and I didn't feel quite right. I thought I had weak knees or something like that, and then I had a fall. And the fall led me to an occupational therapist because I had fallen at work, and they said, "You've got some weird blood." I didn't know what that meant. And he sent me to chief of rheumatology at a very well-known hospital group in San Diego, who, over the course of a few meetings and many tests later, diagnosed me with polymyositis. Well, after trying all of the treatments for polymyositis, drug after drug after drug after drug, over the course of 12 years, it was determined that nothing was working for me, and I decided to try to get into a clinical trial that was being held at UC Irvine. I went to UC Irvine to try and get in the polymyositis clinical trial, and lo and behold, Dr. Namita Goyal took one look at me and she said, "You can't be in our polymyositis drug trial because you have inclusion body myositis." Well, you could have knocked me over with a feather. I was floored because I had done a lot of research going to the University of Google, like most of us do, to try and find out more about polymyositis. And when it was determined my disease was IBM, I knew very little about it, except I did know it was untreatable, let alone curable. So that was a gobsmacking moment for me. IBM, what was this? And what was this going to mean to my life after 12 years? Unfortunately, not uncommon in the rare disease community, and certainly not uncommon when you have a diagnosis, a correct diagnosis of IBM. My life has changed dramatically. I was once, like most people, fairly active. I was working, lived a fairly active life, going to the gym, going places, doing things, and I too have switched to a much more sedentary lifestyle, though I still try and remain as active as I can. I still walk, though limited amounts of time, and I still try and do other things to fill my hours. I have tried to become an advocate for the myositis community and talk to any and everybody about myositis, and specifically IBM. I did have to face the fact that I could no longer do my job, so I did retire earlier than planned. But for me, it's all about quality of life. I want to try and maintain as good a quality of life as I can and focus on the things I still can do and not on the things that I can't. Well, I order most things online these days. Certainly during the pandemic, where we were discouraged from going out, I became an advocate of online grocery store ordering. And so things like that, going to doctor's appointments. I no longer feel confident enough to go many places alone. The disease has progressed to the extent where I know that I can fall at every single moment. I practice what I call mindful walking, where I literally think about every step that I take, knowing that even the slightest crack in a sidewalk can trip me up and send me flying. It is not a great way to live, but I'm living. and I'm living to the best of my ability. And as I said, it's all about quality of life. I don't dwell on what I have lost, and I've lost a lot of capabilities, but I try and make the most of what I do have. I want other people to know that it's not a death sentence. It is life-changing, as my hero, Peter Frampton, says, but it is life-altering. And for those of you who don't know Peter Frampton, he's a rock star who I definitely knew from my younger days, but he also has been diagnosed with IBM. And it is life-changing. Things are not as I hoped they would be in my retirement years that I had worked so hard to achieve. And I've had to make many alterations in my life. I had to remodel my house. I have ramps all over my house. I enjoy life as much as I can, but IBM takes it out of you. It's like a monster that you have to battle every day and try to figure out how you can make the most of your remaining time. But facing myositis and IBM specifically is definitely life-changing, and it's, possible to live with, but you really have to have a battle plan, in my opinion, to try and make the most of your life and try to maintain your quality of life. My hopes for the future is that everyone becomes aware of myositis. It is such a rare disease. No one I know has ever heard of it. And I do my best to try and educate people and let them know what this means to me and what it could mean to them and someone that they know and love. It's a challenge to get the word out about IBM, but I would like there to be more research, more funding, more awareness, more education, even within our own community, about what IBM really is and what it means to them. I would also like to think that people know that there is hope. There is always hope. As long as there is research, as long as people are interested, as long as there are great myositis warriors that you can talk to and lean on in times of difficulty, or even to celebrate the achievements that they have made, there is always hope.